Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So as we all know, the Jets traded defensive end, defensive tackle, a versatile defensive lineman, John Franklin Myers, to the Denver Broncos in the middle of the draft, right middle of day 3, in exchange for a 2026 6th round pick. It was confusing at the time, and then the report comes out that JFM ended up restructuring his contract with the Denver Broncos, essentially turning it into a 2-year, $15 million deal. Now, our friend Kevin from Buffalo Jet Fan actually tweeted out some of the contract details, or replied to Jason from Over the Cap, just again highlighting the contract details of JFM's restructured deal, saying 2 years, $15 million with a $5 million cap charge in 2024. Haven't seen it reported, but I imagine he wanted an opportunity for more playing time. Financially, it makes no sense for the Jets if he was willing to play for these numbers, which I think is spot on, right? I mean, you know, you talk about the New York Jets. What is the strength of the football team? It's the defensive line, right? Of course, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, but we haven't really seen him actually play a full game for this Jets team. One thing that we do know is that the defensive line is stacked, right? We can go up against Pat Mahomes, we can go up against Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, whoever. The defensive line literally has the potential to take games over and win them. And JFM, although he's not the best player on the Jets defensive line, he's not, I don't want to make him out to sound like Aaron Donald or, you know, take your pick, Max Crosby, TJ Watt. He's still a versatile, important part for this Jets defense, right? This is somebody who can play in a 4-3. He can play in a 3-4. He could play on the inside. He could play on the outside, right? He could rush the passer. He could stop the run. And again, I'm not going to sit here and act like John Franklin Myers is all of a sudden this top 10 defensive lineman in the NFL and the season is over for trading him away. Obviously not. Again, the Jets do have some really, really talented defensive linemen, and there's only so much money that can go around, but it's really interesting to see like a win-now team, a team with all this pressure on them, Joe Douglas, Rodgers, Saleh, Hackett, everybody has all this pressure, to see a win-now football team move off of an impact player, you know, like a win-now type of player, for a 2026 6th round pick. If they wanted to move off his salary for, you know, a pick in round 5 this year or even in round 6 of this year, okay, you know, I understand it. It's you know, it is a business at the end of the day, and it was in the middle of the draft. Maybe the Jets had their eye on a couple prospects, but we only had a limited amount of picks, and we couldn't really maneuver the draft in a way to which Joe Douglas would want to go out and select that prospect that he had his eye on. So now all of a sudden we can maybe move a guy at a position that we're deep at, go land that pick. Now you can kind of reset at, reset the books essentially, right? Clear JFM's money and draft your new player. Or, right, as Kevin suggested, you know, why couldn't John Franklin Myers just restructure his contract with the Jets to you know, drop his number down to a $5 million charge just like he did with Denver? And what ends up happening is JFM responds to Buffalo Jet Fan saying that they didn't offer me anything close to this, with like a, you know, like an undecided kind of uneasy face. And I mean, I gotta be honest, like if JFM could have said anything right here, you know, like how low was the offer to where JFM literally has to respond to the contract details, suggesting that it's not anywhere close to this? The Jets didn't offer him anything close to, close to these numbers. And I mean, this is, you know, not this extremely high deal, especially in this day and age, right, where the cap just continues to go up every single year. It's kind of disappointing, right? Again, if we would have gotten more value for the trade, all right, maybe it makes some more sense. If he just would have restructured his deal, the Jets save some money and we can keep him, awesome, it makes sense. But to move him, first of all, to not even offer, you know, kind of a homegrown guy. I know he spent time with the Rams, but to me, JFM is a Jet. That's, you know, when I think of John Franklin Myers, I think of green and white all the way. You know, for the Jets to not even offer, in his words, anything close to this, and then to just trade him away for a 2026 6th, which is like hardly anything, it definitely rubs me the wrong way. Now, I will say this, the bright side here is that I mean, for both parties involved, JFM should get more playing time, should get more opportunities with a coaching staff and organization that believes in him. So I'm pumped for him. I'm going to be pulling for him. And then secondly, from the Jets side of it, we are clearing money. You know, I guess we added the late future pick, you know, so I guess that helps. But the Jets did add some defensive linemen in the undrafted free agent pool, right? Most notably Leonard Taylor from Miami. That was a huge signing. Somebody who I felt should have been drafted. And a lot of people felt like he should have been drafted. But they added a couple more defensive linemen. We'll see how this thing plays out. But just a weird situation, right? I mean, even in the Joe Douglas press conference after the draft, they said that they knew that they couldn't afford JFM at his salary when they acquired Hassan Reddick. So weeks have gone by since the Reddick news, the Reddick trade, and it still came to that, where we're virtually getting nothing for a win now piece, and we're getting weaker at a position that, in my opinion, is the strongest on the football team. So I think in the end, we will be fine on the defensive side of the football, but things will get a little weird if we start having, an injury or two. Or, if we all of a sudden need somebody to come in who can play on the inside and outside, right? I think things look good on paper now, but, as training camp preseason and the regular season creep along, I think JFM was an important kind of piece to the whole puzzle. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you think the Jets botched this, or is it like no big deal at all? And it's just, hey, it is what it is. It doesn't really impact the team all that much. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, go Jets.